A special service of remembrance and reflection took place at Meath County Council headquarters Bavinda House today. It was an opportunity to reflect, take time to remember all those who lost their lives during the pandemic and acknowledge those who contributed to the challenge faced over the last 2 years. A colour party from Óglach na Siúnta na hÉireann got proceedings underway before Councillor Sean Drew Cathaoirleach of Meath County Council laid a wreath in memory of all those who lost their lives.
The last 2 years have been difficult and have an impact on us all. Our response as a country and as a people has been a great collective effort, but every one of us has had our own individual experience, and we have all experienced a mix of emotions during that time. Nobody could be untouched by some of the harrowing experiences of the residents in our care homes and the staff and the patients in our hospitals. There were times of admiration for our frontline workers, our doctors, nurses, care staff and emergency services.
Councillor Drew also said he recognised the impact the pandemic had had on young people in the community.
2 years is a very long time when you are a child or as a teenager. I know that young people can be resilient, and I am hopeful that they can make up for lost time and get to live the growing up experiences that other generations have had before them.
Dr. Augustine Pereira, Director of Public Health with the HSE, recalled the devastating impact COVID had had on County Meath.
We had over 56,000 cases of COVID detected during this pandemic in County Meath alone, and 209 people from our county sadly lost their lives. Let's bring to mind their names, their voices, what they loved or what they cared about, and what was unique about them. Each of these 209 people left behind families, friends, and a community that's grieving. Let us honor their memories today.
The service also heard contributions from Navan Ceoltas, poets and authors and community groups who shared their reflections on the last 2 years. Miss Ita Healy of the Older People's Council spoke movingly about the impact the pandemic had had on the older people in the community, and she paid tribute to those working on the front line.
It's hard not being able to say a proper goodbye and support the grieving family. I think of the frontline workers, many former colleagues. They faced extraordinary difficulties day by day. Continuing even when some of their fellow workers became ill was nothing short of heroic. I think of the healthcare workers, but the many who continue to know the essential services were superb.
Had to endure.
Chief Executive of Meath County Council Jackie Maguire said the pandemic and the events of the last 2 years had left a lasting impression on us all, as she too paid tribute to the countless volunteers, clubs and organisations across County Meath that had played their part during the COVID-19 emergency.
Civil defence, GAA clubs, the critical care teams and health workers, those in the emergency services such as An Garda Síochána and the fire service, those on the front line, the postmen and postwomen, our supermarket workers, our public transport drivers and supply chain workers, my own staff here in the council, and the many others that did the things that nobody saw but were necessary and that made a difference to people's lives. As we reflect today, let us remember that life is precious and what we have is special and should always be cherished. Thank you all.
The ceremony was concluded with the planting of a cherry blossom tree in the grounds of Bavinda House.